What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo, and with me live in studio at Not Your Average Mark headquarters, the one and only Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's up, man?
Oh, heck. It's been a day.
It's always a day.
Yeah, you're not lying.
So, it's not only been a day, it's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
As far as wrestling goes, man, we've had a lot going on. We're going to get into it. Before we do, of course, got some thank yous. Want to thank Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters, and it is a banger, everyone. Man, I don't know if you've listened to it or not.
I have.
I figured you had. There is a song on that album for everything.
Yes.
Every single thing. If you're sad, there's a song on there. If you're happy, there's a song. You want to punch somebody in the throat, there is a song for that. So anything you can need, there's a song on that album. So go check it out anywhere you stream your music. It's going to be good stuff. Looking over at the chat, we've got Mike Petty. Mike, what's up, man? Glad you can make it in tonight. Want to throw a thank you out there to Joseph and American Legacy for the Not Your Average merch. We've got our hats, we've got our beanies, we've got our skull caps. Still working on shirts at the moment. Trying to fine tune and tweak. We'll have those for you soon. I want to say a big thank you to JRebs 3D Printing. You see this piece of awesomeness right here? That's a JRebs 3D Printing original light sign for us. And if you have a logo or a picture, something you want, something like this cool BCW stuff he's got going on his shirt, get with JReb. You can find him on Facebook, or you can go to jrebs3dprinting.com. He can get you hooked up. Big thanks to Heck Yeah Radio. If you happen to miss one of our shows, you can go to heckyeahradio.com, click on the button that says Not Your Average Mark, and get the audio version of all of our podcasts. Blind Ambition Studios, thank you for all our awesome graphics. TheWrestlingSociety.com, they have an area on their website called the Podcast Room, and if you click on that, you're going to find us, and you'll be able to hit our Twitch, watch our live stuff, watch everything we've got. Huge props, huge thank you to the guy. He's the one that makes all of this work. He has the hardest job. He has to make this look good. So he works hard. And one of the things he's worked really, really hard on is our website, notyouraveragemark.com. If you haven't been there, go check it out. We've got merch. We've got bios. We've got everything you could want. We've got links to the live show, links to the past shows. It's all there. So make sure you check out the website, notyouraveragemark.com.
It's a really nice layout.
It is a cool layout. We've got Schwa 806. See, this is a point that I'm glad he brought up. He says, stupid ads. Okay, I'm back. What's up, people? Schwa, thanks for being here. Appreciate it having here tonight. I'm going to tell you and everybody that's listening a little secret about how we can take care of those ads. So the ads are there so that we can keep this thing going. But if you don't want to see the ads, subscribe. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, Guapo, I can't subscribe just yet because, it's Thursday, Friday's payday. I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Don't tell everybody, but I'm going to let y'all in. If you have Amazon Prime, you can click subscribe, and just underneath where all the prices are, there's a little slider that says use Prime subscription. And then you get it for free. No ads, didn't cost you anything. So just a little life hack for everybody out there. Your chance to hit the subscribe, hit the likes, hit all of it.
Click all the things.
Click all the things, every one of them. Oh, Schwa says he uses that on someone else. Shame.
Do they put out content like this? No, absolutely not.
What he said. So let's get into this crazy week that has been wrestling.
Let's do this.
So we got SmackDown. SmackDown, it was a decent show this week. There's some things that I wasn't real impressed with, but we started the show off with our first match was Bayley and Naomi. Now, last week, they had a tag team match against Nia and Tiffy. Tiffy Jane. The deal was, if they lost that match, they had to leave SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't lose, which was good because I'd like to keep them on SmackDown. This time going against each other. Good match. I don't know why they cut Naomi's entrance. Like Naomi has one of the best female entrances next to Charlotte Flair. Like, I mean, it's great. They cut it short and good back and forth in this match. Bailey ends up with the W on it. I was impressed. I like seeing them go at it. Of course, we've got Bailey because of winning this match. Bailey versus Nia Jax at Bad Blood on Saturday.
That is going to be an incredible match.
And it's kind of a run back because they had their match at what was it?
SummerSlam.
Was it SummerSlam?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, one of their matches. So this is it's going to end up being a good match. We had a segment in there where Andrade talked to LA Knight. Yeah, that's my guy. But he says, you know, where I come from, if someone shakes your hand, it's a sign of respect, and you disrespected me by not shaking my hand. And I would be remiss to not remind everybody that Andrade is lucha royalty. Rick and I actually having a conversation about that earlier today. That he's lucha royalty. So if he shakes you, if he puts his hand out, you shake his damn hand.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit. I think it's planting a seed for moving forward because we can only do Carmelo Hayes and Andrade so many times because that's what we got was Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, which is number 6. I would like to say when Carmelo Hayes interrupted them, he didn't just interrupt them. He hit LA Knight and threw him over a damn one of the crates, and he just disappeared. He wasn't there anymore. Like he was gone. As far as Hayes and Andrade, good match. It always is. Like those two are incapable of having a bad match.
Well, it's not just that; it's the chemistry between the
Mhm.
two, right there. Those guys, they work well together. It's really.
I thought Andrade was going to take this one. It was going to be the end of it because they're what 2 and 3, and this is number 6.
Yeah.
Andrade's up. It looks like Andrade's going to get the win. LA Knight comes out, causes a bit of a distraction, and Carmelo Hayes just took advantage of it. Which can you blame the guy? So we're tied 3 and 3. You talk about their chemistry, and it's chemistry that comes all the way back from NXT. Like these two need to be put together in a high stakes match, in my opinion. No, I get the 3 and 3, all that, keeping a record of how many wins and all that, but these guys need to be in a high stakes match because it's just going to take them a level higher than they already are, in my opinion. So we go from that to Mia Yim going up against Piper Niven. I didn't really think Mia Yim was going to do well in this one. Piper Niven's just a beast in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And to my surprise, Mia Yim gets the W in this one. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised when she hits the ramp, the smile on her face, while Chelsea Green. I can't say enough about Chelsea Green. Like, if she doesn't get a title, she at least needs like an Oscar because she is so good at playing her character, and I love it. And apparently, I missed part of this, so if you know what it's about in the chat, let me know. But apparently, this is setting up for a dumpster match with Mia Yim and Chelsea Green. Not Chelsea Green's forte.
Dumpster match.
I can't say that I've seen much dumpster diving in Chelsea Green's past.
Well, sounds to me like they're trying to recreate some Mick Foley, Terry Funk, New Age Outlaws thing.
Oh, see, I could do a whole show on that. Man, Terry Funk and Cactus Jack, come on now.
Well,
that's the stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. One thing I do like is, okay, this whole dumpster match thing. This is something you would expect on a PLE. But one thing I've loved about what they're doing with SmackDown and with Raw and even with NXT is they're taking these kind of matches and leaving them on the shows You know, you don't have to get the PLE to see that particular match because they're going to do it on Raw. They've been doing the same thing with the Wyatt Six. How many PLEs have you seen the Wyatt Six on?
0.
That many. Because they're doing it on the shows. And I love the fact that they're doing that. Because it would be really easy to say, you know, we're going to get the Wyatt Six and we're going to put them on SummerSlam and then we're going to put them on this PLE and this PLE and do all their big stuff there. But the big stuff they're doing is on the shows. And I think it helps to build. It helps keep things going without having to have the spectacle of the PLE.
Right. And it also saves it to where it's the really big stories going. The PLE is really big stories going into whatever they're doing, not just things that happen on television.
Right. Well, and I don't know, man. I like the fact that they're doing it this way. I'm looking over at the chat. Rick says, to expound on your comment of Andrade being Lucha royalty, for those who don't know, Andrade wrestled under his family's mask as La Sombra prior to joining WWE. He's third generation. His father wrestled as Brillante, and his grandfather wrestled as El Moro, which some of that stuff I didn't know.
I can't even spell any of that.
Look, I get you 2 Dos Equis, you'll be fine. You'll be able to pronounce all of it.
Okay.
We got Mike Petty in the chat saying, what did y'all think about the Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed last man standing? We're going to get to that when we get to Raw. The last monster standing, man. Before we get to that, though, let's go ahead and finish up SmackDown. We had Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu going up against Owens and Orton. And here's the thing. So we had a segment where Cody and Kevin had a little bit of heat. And Randy's like, all right, calm down. So, did you ever think you would be at the point where you're talking about Randy Orton, Randall Keith, Mr. Orton, if you're nasty, being a peacekeeper? I mean,
it's not necessarily his forte, but things happen. But I mean, Owens has a really good grab with that because, if you fought a guy for the last 4 years and he has done nothing but treat you horribly, and then the guy that's supposed to be one of your best friends says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and team up with him. It really puts some distrust on him. And it's not the first time that Cody has done this.
True.
Remember, whenever Cody was on Raw, he brought Jey Uso over to Raw, and that's whenever that started a little bit of heat with KO. Whenever that was going on, but KO was wrong at that point.
Is he wrong this time? That's where the big question comes.
Absolutely, that's the big question.
So this match is exactly what you wanted it to be. One of the things that happened though was Kevin Owens told Cody while Owens and Orton were talking strategy, stay back here. Don't come out there. Stay here. Not so much there, not so much there, here. And he gets out and Randy's like, look, you need to come out. You can come out. Okay. So that's what happens. Cody comes out, causes a distraction, and of course, the Bloodline wins the match. This makes for an unhappy KO. And we get the push, and it's the push I think everybody's been waiting for, because it's obvious now. Like, you had the little frustrations with Kevin Owens, but he's letting it go. Shake Cody's hand. A little more frustration. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. It's getting to the point that he's not letting it go, and once we get to the point that he's had enough, the fallout from that is going to be insane.
Well, Kevin Owens is notorious for holding grudges.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, like he's always said, everybody except for Kofi, they've deserved that. They've deserved him turning against them. So Cody's pushing buttons.
He is, and there's a few things that can come out of this. To think for just a second. If Kevin Owens turns, Cody's got to deal with that. Set aside the obvious Roman Reigns factor in all of this. If Kevin Owens turns, Cody's got to deal with that. Randy's right in the middle of that. So there's a good possibility Cody's got to deal with Randy. At some point, The Rock's coming back, and Cody's got to deal with The Rock. I mean, there's a whole line of things that Cody may have to go through, and that's not even looking at Roman Reigns, looking at the bloodline, because Solo, as long as he's got that title on his shoulder, Solo Sikoa is coming after him.
He has a giant target.
Yes, he does. And so there's so many different ways this could go. I'm interested to see what happens. And we're going to talk more about some theories on that when we get to our Bad Blood predictions.
He wasn't on the show. Theory.
Oh, yeah, he went on the show. All in all, SmackDown was good. I give it a solid B. Like it was a B show. I give it that.
It was a maintenance show.
Yeah.
I'd say B minus, somewhere in there.
It takes us into Raw, and there were some things that happened on Raw. So I'm not going to go over every match with Raw, but there are some things we need to talk about. The promos from CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Like the promos we've gotten so far, I will say what CM Punk cut, what was it? Not last week, but the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Best stick work I've seen from him since the pipe bomb.
I actually believe that his promo work with Drew McIntyre, the particular promo we're talking about, was better than the pipe bomb. It was to the point.
Mm-hmm.
There was serious tones.
Oh yeah,
and he meant every word he said.
Well, and I don't know that I'm gonna say it was better than the pipe bomb, but they're right here like this. I mean, it was good, and Drew McIntyre last week comes out with something equally as good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, these two are ready to kill each other. They're ready to let, as CM Punk said, the heart stop beating in the middle of that cage.
I will be completely disappointed if that is not our main event on Saturday.
We're going to talk about that when we get to Bad Blood, because I've heard some things and we need to discuss those. We had LWO, we had Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde versus JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito of the Judgment Day. The match was good. I liked where it was going. And of course, we get Finn Balor, who was not there because he was on the phone and said he had travel problems, but he was there the whole time.
That's becoming a regular occurrence. Somebody's got travel problems, but they're always there.
And Rick. Look, man. Rick in the chat saying, hot take, the pipe bomb is grossly overrated. Come at you. All right, boys and girls, put the kids to bed. We've been to have some grown folk talk. Here's the deal about the pipe bomb. The things he said, it was a complete shoot. It was a shoot promo, and I dig those. It was fun for what it was. But what it did was not so much what was said, but the way it was done changed the outlook of how people cut promos, especially shoot promos when they're upset, because nobody is going to top that. That is now the format. And Rick is correct. It's a worked shoot. But that has become the format for a worked shoot promo.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that it's overrated, I can't go with you on that because it is the blueprint now. So I think its rating is right where it needs to be. As far as content, I'll give you that. It's grossly overrated in content. But it has become the blueprint for what you do when you're ready to do a shoot promo.
I think it's complete irony that everything he talked about in the pipe bomb, he is now that guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the irony is great. Because he is absolutely that guy. The only thing he said in that pipe bomb about Cena that he's not now is he's not kissing Vince McMahon's ass. Because McMahon's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll expound on why I say that at a later time because I have points. All right, you and I are going to discuss.
No, you need to discuss that on here.
Yep, we'll bring you on, Rick. We're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there now. Next Thursday, We're going to talk about Bad Blood, what happened, because Bad Blood is Saturday on Peacock. Starts at 5 p.m. Central. We're going to talk about Bad Blood. And then I'm going to pull Rick on. Rick, if you're available, I'd like to have you on the show next week. And we're just going to talk wrestling and talk pipe bombs and talk everything. Let's just talk wrestling in general. I think it's a good idea.
Sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun.
I think I'll be there.
You should. So let's get back to Raw, though. The promos that they cut face to face, well, and kudos to the security guards, all right? I like the fact that they pulled all the security into the ring and they're standing back to back on each other as everybody's walking in. There was one in particular that the look on his face the entire time was, please don't let nothing pop off. Please don't let nothing pop off. It was great. The oh crap look on his face was awesome. I loved it. But getting them face to face and letting them talk to each other, it was intense.
It sure did.
It looked like an SCP locker room in that ring. Yes, it did. Absolutely, it did. And I know there's a lot of you that have never seen the Square Circle Pro locker room, but believe me when I say that's about right.
Everywhere you look, there's somebody.
There's somebody there.
And they're usually somebody big.
So these two going into Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, it's going to be a massacre. And I'm not sure which way it's going to go. That is something we'll discuss here shortly, though.
Yes.
Had something that has gotten a lot of questions. We had Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. Of course, Xavier Woods throwing a fit on the last show, saying that nobody takes him seriously because he's the only one that hasn't won a singles title.
Mm-hmm.
So Rey's like, all right, you want to talk trash? I got you, bro. So they have their match. It's good. It's a really good match. You put Xavier Woods and Rey Mysterio in the ring together, you're going to have a good match. But the match ended very abruptly because Xavier Woods went to do something, grabbed Rey by the head, and his mask came off. So Xavier's holding the mask and throws it back at Rey and immediately pins him. Immediately goes home with it, wraps him up solid, and then gets out of the ring. I think it was legitimately an issue. I don't think Rey's mask was supposed to come off. I think that was something that happened. And if that is the case, kudos to Xavier Woods for playing that off the way he did, going home with it so Rey could cover his face. Kudos to him for being on it.
I think it was a work.
Okay.
There was a spot right before it happened where Rey was hitting the ropes and he was doing something with the mask at that point. I think he was getting it ready for it to come off.
Well, and that's the argument that's out there. But my counter to that argument, the only reason I think it was a shoot was if you watched his match last week, he kept pulling his mask down because it was loose. Like he kept having to go like this with his mask because it was loose. So was he adjusting it to get it off, or was he trying to fix it so it wouldn't come off?
I mean,
that's the argument that's out there right now in Wrestling Land.
Wrestling Land.
It's a great place. You should visit.
I heard there's a bunch of clowns there.
See, we don't let them in.
Oh, okay.
They have their own section full of crayons.
Hey, I like crayons.
Yeah, I know. Well, that would not be the end of Xavier Woods in the night, as Kofi Kingston had a match against Chad Gable. Chad Gable, everybody calls him modern day Kurt Angle, which has got to piss Kurt Angle off because it's not like he's dead. Kurt Angle is still the modern day Kurt Angle, but I can't say enough about Chad Gable. Whether it's working with the Wyatt Six or working with American Made, or even when he was working with the Alpha Academy, the things he does, the way he can move in the ring, his ring awareness, his psychology, it's all there. He is, not to compare him to Lex Luger, but he is the total package. Like, he can do it all. And so this was a great match.
He can work.
That's true. He can work. So there's one thing he can do that. Stop. Kofi Kingston, a great worker in his own right. So the two of them together was great. Kofi had this match. Bottom line, Kofi had this match. Throws Gable against the ropes, and Xavier Woods grabs his ankle. This makes Kofi miss his move because Kofi's waiting, got it timed out where he's going to come off the ropes. And it ends up costing Kofi the match. And Kofi is pissed. So we've got the seeds of dissension, and it's gone. Xavier Woods is going through some things right now. Like, he was mad last week, and this week he's like, "What was I supposed to do? I was trying to help." And his mask came off. What did you want me? You know, he's like in panic mode almost. And so I like where this is going. Rick's made mention of the fact before that his clothes are slowly turning black. You know, having carrying a cross in his ear might have something to do with that. I don't know for sure. But we're getting to the point where people are going to ask questions. It's not so subtle anymore. People are starting to ask questions about it. We had Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark. Chance and Katana come out after the match, and as did, what do they call it? Pure Fusion
Collective.
Yeah, Kamehameha. That's some Dragon Ball shit.
Okay.
I'm telling you that there's somebody that watches anime. Is that not some Dragon Ball stuff? Like,
okay, if you look up in the dictionary, fusion and collective are basically synonyms.
So they're the see. Don't get me. Goku would never have allowed this. Just saying. I like what they're doing. To a point. I don't like that they strapped a rocket onto Lyra Valkyria and then found out it was a bottle rocket and it's going to pop and she's coming back down to the ground. I don't like that they did that. Like, they've kind of turned her into a utility player, which is good. It's always good to be a utility talent. But you don't do this and then that. I don't like what they're doing with her. I do like that they are putting her with Chance and Katana because they make a good trio. We're not doing trios right now. I mean, there's one, and that's who they're going with. But I feel like they could do different things with Lyra Valkyria. That's a personal thing.
Well, technically, you have Jade, Bianca, and Naomi.
I mean, technically, yeah, that's a trio.
You have Pure Fusion Collective.
And you say that I hear TV Dan. I can't with Pure Fusion Collective.
Oh, I'm so gonna make that for you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that deal where CM Punk is getting ready to. He looks at his watch and he's gonna say, "It's Tiffy time."
The views expressed by Mike Caldwell are not necessarily the views. No, I mean, I see where they're going, and it could turn into something good. Maybe it's the not sure what they're going to do yet that's got me. I just feel like they could do more with Lyra. That leads us to the last monster standing. There's over 700 pounds involved in this match. Big Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, they've been battling in the ring, out of the ring, in the parking lot, on the cars, in the cars. I mean, they've been fighting everywhere.
Through the walls,
you know, into a room without opening the door. So getting them in this match was awesome. They beat the hell out of each other. I mean, what do you think was going to happen? They beat the hell out of each other, and I knew something was off about this match. Not because they were doing anything wrong, because they did everything right, but I just happened to notice that they didn't have the LED ring posts. I was like, why don't they have the LED ring posts? And then I thought, oh yeah, I know why they didn't have the LED ring posts. Because they broke the ring, it exploded. And as soon as Braun Strowman started climbing, I'm like, this is not going to end well. Like, the referee got bounced out of the ring, and Strowman is over by the steps, trying to get up, and some figure comes running from the back. And who is it? It's a visionary,
A revolutionary.
a revolutionary. Seth freaking Rollins with the curb stomp, which apparently he's going back to the curb stomp. Like they made him stop it for a while.
Well, he's been doing the curb stomp for at least the last couple of years.
Well, there was a section of time in there where they were like, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah, that happened whenever he ended up giving Dean Ambrose a concussion like a while ago.
Well, no, there was something after. It was after Dean had already put on his clown shoes. But anyway, he shows up and just laughing, ha 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 ha, and that's how we go off the air. I wasn't going to talk about it because it hurts my whole heart. There's one other thing that happened during Raw. I'm not happy about. Rick is just dancing a jig right now already.
I know what you're talking about.
There was a match. We had a return, a triumphant return after 5 tsunamis. The triumphant return of R-Truth. I have made it clear on multiple occasions that R-Truth is a national treasure and should be treated as such. We get the awesome Truth against AOP. You may be thinking to yourself, the hell is AOP? Because that's what the Miz was thinking. It's AOP. It's AOP. Authors of Pain. Yeah, uh-oh. So that's who they're going against. They're going to go against the Authors of Pain. And that rat bastard, Karrion Kross, standing at ringside talking to the Miz. Miz not paying no attention. He's get the hell on. I'm not paying attention to you. And so my wife and I are watching because she's as big a Truth fan as I am. And we're watching and things are going good. And he's trying to get the tag and Miz gets really excited. Come on, let's go. Let's do everything. I'm like, oh no. He's way too excited. My wife says, what? I said, Miz is fixing to turn on R-Truth. Hits the tag. My wife looks at me and says, and I'm going to quote it the same way she did. Miz would not turn. Oh. Because Miz gave him a kick square to the head and then deuced out. He was done. Damn you, Miz. Not happy about it. Got to see what happens with there was a backstage like interview thing where I forgot her name. Not Kathy Kelly, the other one.
I'll play your silly little game. What is it?
It's that one girl. She came by as backstage lady. She came by and said, I just wanted to check on you, make sure you're okay. And Truth is like, yeah, I think he forgot I'm not in the Judgment Day anymore. Like he got confused. He thought maybe I was still in the Judgment Day. And she's like, that looked pretty intentional to me. And Truth's like, it wasn't. Did it look that way? And he gets up mad. He's like, it better not have been intentional. Like he storms off. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Need to leave R-Truth alone. Just saying. I hope he kicks Miz square off in his pointy little head. Then stands him up against the ropes and kicks him in his.
He does not have.
Just saying. All in all, Raw was good. Like I enjoyed watching Raw. It was. I'm gonna give it an A. I'll give it an A.
I'll agree.
I'm not gonna go A+ with it because they hit. You know they split up Awesome Truth. You're not getting an A+ from me kicking R-Truth in the head. And Lyra Valkyria, that whole thing too. All in all, good show. I loved it.
I hate your auto mod, by the way.
It's not my auto mod. Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Rick says, according to Cross, Miz isn't the only one who turned. Little Jimmy. You take that back immediately. Nobody turns Little Jim. It's a family show. We got standards. According to Kerry Kirk, you can't turn Little Jimmy? Rick, we're gonna have to talk. Turn Little Jimmy, man. We're going to have to go on to something else before I get angry over here.
Too late.
NXT. NXT has made its debut on the CW, and holy hell, it was good. It was, looking at the numbers, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
They doubled the numbers from their last show on cable. So, I mean, I like the way we started the show. We get the Shawn Michaels dance to the ring entrance. He shows that we have new belts, and he says, "So Chicago, I guess all that's left is the fact that I have one question for you." The crowd's getting ready, and he brings the mic to his mouth, and you hear Triple H, "Are you ready?" Shawn Michaels looking around, what? And here comes Triple H out of the crowd into the, onto the ring, and he's just sitting up on the ropes. And Shawn's like, "That's my what?" So they talk about everything that's going to happen, and then they do the "Are you ready?" together. DX nostalgia kicking in. It was good. It was a great way to start the show. We had some good matches. Roxanne Perez going up against Julia, wins by pinfall to retain her NXT Women's Championship.
895,000.
895,000 people. Double that number of eyes on NXT on the CW. Insane.
Hold on, Rick. Is that the 895? Is that the number that we had for NXT the debut, or is that the last number on USA?
No, I saw that earlier. That's the number on CW.
Okay. Yeah, that's super impressive.
It is. I like. There's some things happening there. There's soon to be some things happening there. Getting seeds.
Planting seeds.
There's going to be some things happening there. Last USA was 680K.
That's
man. So, like I said, Roxanne Perez retains the NXT Women's Championship, new belt for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz. This was a good match. Like, they're all good matches. I like watching Wes Lee wrestle. I always have. Like, Wes Lee is great. Zachary Wentz I wasn't real familiar with before, but he has grown on me as well. So seeing the two of them in the ring was awesome. The one that I want to talk about, though, Trick Williams, Ethan Page for the strap. Special guest,
CM Punk.
CM Punk. So there's a portion of this match that I loved. It was great. Ethan Page goes for the pin, 1-2 kick out, and he's mad as hell, and he's yelling at CM Punk. And Punk says, "No, you son of a bitch." 1-2 kick out. That's what it was. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's what it was." Picks up Trick Williams, puts him up on his shoulders, stares dead eye at CM Punk, hits a GTS. Trick's laid out. He gets down, just staring at CM Punk. 1-2 kick out. And Punk looks at him and goes, "I've never seen this look so much like this in my life."
Hey, family show.
Well, I said put the kids to bed. Seriously, Punk was great as the ref. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Ethan Page, not personal opinion, not long for NXT. That man is going to be on the main roster very soon, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think that's got to happen. I think
sooner rather than later.
I think when this whole CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing ends, I really feel like Ethan Page is CM Punk's next story.
Yeah.
We end with the whole crowd screaming, "Whoop that Trick." I dig it. I liked it. The whole show is awesome. Absolute A+ for me.
Hold on just a second. We were having a discussion once upon a time.
We do that sometimes.
And that was when Ethan Page beat Trick Williams for the belt some months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't it some guy named Guapo that said, "It's all right. whenever whenever they debut on the CW, he'll get it back.
I might have said that.
So he was right.
Okay, clip that because I don't ever hear that shit. Clip that. No, it was good. A plus show for me. I dug every minute of it. I was very, very interested in it. And the numbers they pulled, man, NXT is going to blow up even more than it already has, in my opinion.
Hey, nowhere to go but up.
That's right. Now we come to one of my favorite parts of the show. If I had my radio in here, I'd play the theme music. Notes from the Clown Show.
Year number 5.
Tony Khan is a clown. Let me start with that. Why is Tony Khan a clown? Go ahead.
First thing, Tony Khan is a clown because this is the one time that he had the real news for a real announcement, and the guy didn't follow
Didn't
through.
say a word about it. What are we talking about? AEW got their deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me change that. AEW got a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. Was it 170 million a year?
It's somewhere in that neighborhood.
Rampage is no more. There was no mention of Ring of Honor in any of this. So you've got Collision and Dynamite. One thing they did get is the show will start streaming on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Live. And PLEs will be on HBO Max. However, it's not going to be like it is on Peacock with WWE.
No, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, you've got to pay for it like it was a standard pay-per-view. So they got some of the things they wanted. They got a whole lot of things they didn't want. I.e., Warner Brothers says we want a piece of the company. So,
well, they've had a piece of the company.
But I was talking with Rick yesterday, and I kind of agree with what he said. This was we'll take what we can get kind of thing. This wasn't a this is what we want, give it to us. This was a please, sir, may I have some more?
Yes, absolutely. But needless to say, the deal is done.
It is. The deal is, and zero mention of it. Zero.
That could have been one of the hottest takes on the deal. And if he didn't want to do it, you could have gotten somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone.
Yep. Schiavone could have done it, no problem. I think he should have. But no, zero. No mention of it whatsoever. What are you thinking? We've got Mike Petty saying, I do agree with y'all on that. He's such a clown. I mean, I've never seen a bigger example of let's settle as what Rick says about Tony Khan. He's a clown. That's his theme song. Why do you think they only ever show him from here up? Because if you saw the shoes, you'd know. That's the whole reason. Like, he talked him out of having to wear the nose. That's all that happened. So let's get into this. Let's not talk about we got a whole ass deal. Let's leave that out. We had a decent match. I will say that. Hangman Adam Page versus Juice Robinson. It was a decent match. Both the guys can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. I am going to say the best part of the match for me was Juice Robinson looking like a wild man with popcorn in his hair. Crazy. I dug it.
Juice is a crazy guy.
The other decent match.
Well, while we're on this match, let's talk about it.
Okay.
We had the return of Jay White.
I am a Jay White fan. As much as I hate the clown show, I am a Jay White fan.
Jay White and Juice Robinson are two of the best talents that they have still on that program.
For now.
Well,
I'm just saying.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying it. No, it was good to see Jay White get back. And the two of them together do big things.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that they do for Tony's sake, because that 895,000 eyes on NXT on the CW,
I don't think
Like pull 3 zeros off, and that might have been the number of people in attendance.
oh
Just I'm telling it like it is, okay? Guapo versus Tony Khan. He don't want to smoke. He don't want to smoke. I will knock his hair straight.
jeez.
I said it nicely.
That's
I
a
didn't say
feat.
what I was thinking.
That's a feat.
The other decent match we had out of this was Britt Baker and Serena Deeb. Something I didn't know, like, and shame on me for not knowing this. Got fed some information about Serena Deeb. Please inform the people.
Well, back in the day, there was a guy known as CM Punk
Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
who had a little society,
Straight Edge. I
straight
believe it
edge
was.
society, and he had Luke Gallows as his right hand man, and we had this random girl that came out and she shaved her head and she was all about it and everything. That is Serena Deeb.
I was unaware, so I learned something today. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
This was a good match. Britt Baker got the win on it, but these ladies do what they do well. And that's saying something coming from me on the Clown Show. But they do what they do, and they do it well.
Mhm.
So I like that. But now let's get into what screws all of that up. We had Shelton Benjamin make his AEW debut. Shelton Benjamin is all in and further continuing the trope that AEW is where good talent goes to die.
That's a friend of mine. Don't.
Then why didn't you talk him out of that?
Have you
What
seen the checks that man writes?
I mean,
Oh, I mean, you haven't seen it, but you've heard of how much that man? If I was Shelton Benjamin, I would have gone too.
I mean, I get it. The money's good. He was introduced by MVP. I will say this: the way they did it was funny. Because MVP's out there and he's trying to talk and getting ready to introduce Shelton Benjamin. Here comes Prince Nana. Prince Nana was like, "You may not know this. You know, you come in here doing your thing. You may not know this, but I used to be a wrestler and I ain't scared to get back in the ring." He said, "That sounds like challenges. I don't do challenges. You need to talk to him about that." And he turns around and there's Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin's like, "Thought so. Good talk."
Yeah.
And then took his coffee. I don't know if you know anything about Prince Nana. I would be scared to drink that coffee. I'm just saying you might not pass a test afterwards. It's one of those things.
It's AEW. I don't think they test.
Obviously. I don't think, drug test, math test, English test. I think if they can write their name on the contract, they're signed.
Yeah.
We had Danielson versus Okada.
That there was a lot of things that were involved with that.
Yes.
The first 20 minutes were for the international title.
Yes.
Which, okay, I get it. The first 20 minutes is the time limit on international title defenses. 1 hour is the time limit on the world title defenses.
Right.
So we had the first 20 minutes that went by, but wasn't that just like absolutely just saying, "Hey, by the way, this is going to be a while.
Y'all go get some popcorn. We're good." That's what I saw.
I will say this: that Okada is the Okada that Tony Khan signed.
Yes.
That is the one he wanted.
Okada was good. Danielson was good. Don't get me wrong. Bryan Danielson was good. He sells everything in his face. And through his selling, I'm pretty sure he spends half his life constipated because that's the look I get every time somebody's putting a move on him.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a wrestling thing.
That's a little bit of fiber, you got it.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a decent match. It's just it took forever.
It did.
And it's one of those matches where if they'd have cut that match to say 10 minutes, that would have been a banger. But they drew it out and drew it out and drew it out to where people lose interest. And I think if you looked at the numbers, that would happen. That they would show that we were getting dropped.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the numbers are gonna say something to that effect.
You know, and of course you put Bryan Danielson and Okada in the main event. Because there couldn't be anybody else on the show that maybe should have been the main event. What am I talking about?
What are you talking about? Because I mean, listen. Bryan Danielson versus Okada on free television.
Oh yeah, it's on free television, much like the way we started the show with Ricochet and Will Ospreay. What the hell? On free television for one, and no build-up. You've got these two amazing high-flying flippity floppities, and you don't save it for a PLE, or excuse me, they do pay-per-views.
Yes, pay-per-views.
You don't save it for a pay-per-view. You don't do the big build-up. No, you put them in the ring, and the first thing to do is reenact their flippy match, complete with superhero landing
It's called hot shot booking.
for
Princess.
free. For free. Let's put it on TV, and let's just make it the first. Let's make it the first match.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people decided that they wanted to start watching this. They finished that match and they're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not watching the rest of the show. This is what I came for.
And you know, one of the things that they got, and this is just my opinion. You know, you've got
I see the frustration.
You've got Excalibur, who could do a lot of good things with what he does.
Mhm.
If he would take it and he would drop it about 0.25 on his speed and give some emphasis on the right places, it would definitely make a difference in that program.
Oh yeah.
And Tony Schiavone used to be so good as far as he had his own ideas. He was able to talk about things and everything else. And now it's just like, you're right.
Would you like me to explain that for you? Because I can explain that for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he's having flashbacks. I recognize this. I've lived through this before. This is the beginning of the end.
Okay.
That's
So
why
I'm-
Tony Schiavone's like
Tony
not there. He's like, I know how this story ends. I've done this once.
Let me go ahead and get all the money I can now.
Exactly. I can't with Tony Khan. If you're watching, quit watching you're not welcome here. Stop watching my podcast. You're a clown.
No, let him come on. Tell you what,
I would
Tony Khan.
I would get thrown off of Twitch
No,
if Tony Khan came on this show because I have some things to discuss with him that are not family friendly.
no. That's when we put the big disclaimer out and say, hey, put the kids to bed.
Yeah.
This is some grown folk talk.
There's some grown folks stuff fitting to happen.
Tony Khan on one side, Guapo on the other side, Rick and I in the chat going,
Once again, he ain't want to smoke. It is what it is. That has been Notes from the Clown Show. How they're going to start with Ricochet. Sorry, bro.
I give it a D.
I give it 4 clown faces.
Okay, that too.
So, before we get into Bad Blood predictions, I do want to thank everybody that's out here tonight. Want to thank Jay Conrad Photography, Josh. Thank you for being here. Rick, Mike Petty, Joshua 806. I know who you are. I see you. I
And that
appreciate.
Restream bot's over there too.
Well, yeah. Well, see, yeah, that's what we call Mike Petty. It's like his secret identity.
Oh, okay.
See, that's how that works. But seriously, thank all of you for being here tonight. Thank you for joining us in this. You guys are the reason I do this. You guys are what make it fun. And as long as you guys are interested and want to be here, we're going to be here bringing you wrestling every week. So thank you so much for that. As always, go to all the places
and click all the
and click all the things.
And you're gonna have to also thank the guys that are not doing anything in the chat. They're just lurking, they're watching, they're trying to soak it all in.
Oh, absolutely. If you are watching this, if you are listening to it, if it's live for you, if you're watching it after the fact, thank you. We appreciate you spending some time with us. So thank you very much.
Very much so.
So, Bad Blood, Saturday, 5 p.m. I'm excited. We got good matches happening. Let's start with the Women's World Championship. I laughed my ever-loving ass off when the stipulation got added to this match. We already had Rhea versus Liv for the title.
Mm-hmm.
How long have I been calling for a Dominic Mysterio on a pole match? It's not exactly Dom on a pole, but he is above the ring in a shark cage. Close enough. I'll take it.
The funny thing is, I was watching, and that this is a production error. They announced it on the graphic card before they actually came out and announced it to the world.
Whoopsie.
It was already on the graphic card whenever it came up beforehand.
I love this. For one, I like the fact that they played off Dominic is claustrophobic. Is he really? I don't know. But it's great that Rhea threw it out there as a no secrets.
He's done time, so you gotta,
Mike.
Hey, he doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, I know that 2.5 minutes changed him. Hard plan. But yeah, the whole shark cage thing, I'm excited. Rhea is going to kill her.
Mhm.
Like Liv is going to have to do some things, and there are some rumors flying about regarding exactly how Liv is going to keep from getting killed. One of which is a returning Raquel Rodriguez. Liz and Raquel are friends. They were tag team champions together. She's been out for a while. A returning Raquel Rodriguez, the numbers game, it's a possibility.
Okay.
That's one I've heard.
I hadn't heard that.
The other one I heard was a returning Charlotte Flair. I'm not sure
I think that Charlotte Flair, if Charlotte Flair's coming back, Charlotte Flair will be on SmackDown because that is where her husband is. And WWE tries to do the best they can to keep it to where husband and wife are kind of on the same programming. That way they can see each other.
I'm just going to say, if at some point Charlotte Flair comes back and she's on SmackDown,
mm-hmm.
if I don't get at a Survivor Series or any PLE that has both brands, WrestleMania even, if I don't get a Charlotte Andrade, Seth and Becky match, I'll be pissed.
Well,
you know how epic that would be?
That would be epic.
Trips, buddy, if you're listening, keep listening because thank you. But make this happen. Make this a thing, please. Me personally, I've got Rhea in this one. I am interested to see. The only reason I say Rhea in this one, because I really do think we may get some kind of interference,
mm-hmm.
whether it be Raquel Rodriguez or Seth makes his way, or Seth. See how I got the whole Seth and Becky thing happening. Dom makes his way down out of the cage, or we get the Judgment Day interference, whatever it is. I see Rhea fight back through that and still get the win because I still believe Triple H sees Rhea Ripley as the face of the women's division.
Okay, I see that, but also you're going uphill to climb the mountain. There's still
enough to drink to understand that.
There's still area that she's going to have to overcome to get that championship back. It's not just going to snap her fingers and it's going to happen. You've got Dom up in up in a shark cage. We didn't say anything about whatever he has in his pockets.
Fair.
We didn't. I mean, if you've watched wrestling before and you've seen you've seen Jim Cornette in a shark cage. Okay, there's things that ended up happening where he's feeding weapons to them. He's doing things.
True.
So that's some of the things that Triple H grew up on.
That's what I'm glad you bring that up, because that is one of the things that's floating around as well. Are we paying homage to the Cornette thing? So that's one of the things that was brought up.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you bring that up as well.
But I mean, there's so much possibilities of what could happen. Who knows? He may have a set of keys in his pocket and end up hanging off the top of that, and Rhea gets distracted from that, gets rolled up.
It's a possibility. I'm going to stand by my girl. I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley for the win and new women's world champion. What do you got?
I got Liv.
You got Liv? Okay, I see it. And chat, I want you in on this as well. As we talk about these, I want to know who you guys have in these matches. We're of course going to be talking about them next Thursday. Like I said, I fully expect some kind of something to aid Liv, because on paper, just as a match, Rhea kills her.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Rhea is superior.
Yes. Liv is smart.
Mm-hmm.
I really think we get back to Rhea, and I could be wrong. We may not get back to Rhea on this one. We may carry this all the way to Rumble, or maybe even to Mania. I don't know. But I would, if we're going to carry this kind of thing to Mania, I would rather see the belt swap a couple times. And this would be a good way to do that. Rhea gets it back. Liv gets it back at Rumble. We go back and forth with it. I'd like to see a couple of swaps before we get to some kind of Mania match on that.
Well, sit down, strap in, make sure your safety belt's buckled in, because Triple H is taking us on a ride.
He is, in fact. So let's continue this ride into our next match, because you can't talk about Rhea Ripley without talking about her terror twin, Damian Priest, going up against one-time friend, one-time partner, Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be awesome. Let's see. We've got Rick on here. Rick's going with Liv Morgan also.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Petty saying he agrees with me, Rhea Ripley. Mike, appreciate that. It's going to be good either way. But this Damian Priest Finn Balor match, nobody knows each other better. There's no way this goes down without Judgment Day interference.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
It is. It's gonna be good. I don't think there's anybody that can question the fact that I am a Finn Balor friend. I mean, I started on my podcast, hashtag free Finn Balor, because I miss Finn Balor. We're getting back to the Finn Balor that I know and love. We're not quite there yet. But since we've had the split with Damian and Rhea out, and Finn is getting back to that, I'm running stuff. And I like that. I like where they're going with it. I've got Priest in this one. But it's going to be, I don't know that it's going to be by pinfall. Like, I really do feel like there's a whole lot of interference that happens in this one.
Shenanigans a must.
There's shenanigans, skullduggery.
Tomfoolery.
There's just a little hint. Not a whole lot. A little hint of tomfoolery. All of these things are going to happen in this match. And I think Damian Priest gets it, but I don't think he gets it by clean pin.
I agree. I think Priest is gonna pull this one out.
We've got Rick saying the same thing. He thinks it's going to be Priest. We've got, you know what? We're going to wait on that one for just a minute. We've got the WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax versus Bayley. Talked about this a little earlier. When these two get in the ring together, before we talk about Jax and Bayley as a match, let me throw out all the flowers I can to Nia Jax. She looks great. She is the version of herself she is now far superior to her last run in WWE.
Absolutely.
So happy to see her in the position she's in the stories she's in, and doing the things she's doing, because she is absolutely great.
She's not as reckless.
Not at all. She is slowed down, and she's looking great. She's doing big things. So happy for her. Now let's get into this match with Bayley. You know, we're running it back from SummerSlam. At least that was one of the last PLE they did this on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hell of a match. Having Bayley pick her up and walk her out and slam her, damn,
Mm-hmm.
like that's impressive. So these two have gone at it and done big things. I can only see it getting bigger. Me personally, you know what, I'm gonna go with my girl Bayley. I think Bayley can do it.
I think Nia's gonna pull it out still.
Now, having said that, Bayley wins. I think Bayley wins because Tiffany Stratton comes out and tries to cash in on Nia, fails, and Bayley gets the win off the failed cash-in attempt.
I don't like it.
Well,
I don't like it. You know, honestly, if Bayley wins, I can see Nia turning around and grabbing a hold of Tiffany and throwing her at the referee and saying she's cashing in.
I hadn't looked at it from that angle, but yeah, I could see that.
But honestly, I think that there may be a tease for the cash in, but I don't think that it's actually going to get cashed in.
Well, and Rick saying in the chat, if you're going to have Bayley win, she needs to lose it immediately to a Tiffany cash in.
Right.
Which, at that point, I mean, puts Tiffany against Jax, because Jax can be like, okay, give me my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany's going to be like, you mean my belt?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, the two of you have convinced me. I think I may have to change. I'm not changing. I still think Bayley wins, but I don't think it's off the failed cash in. I think Bayley wins, but your new champion is Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
I like that. I think that's the way we're going to go.
Oh, I'm still going with Nia because
Okay.
I know I feel like there's more story to tell between Nia and Tiffy before that goes away.
But can you keep it interesting, or is it going to be stale by the time we get to? Because it's already. I mean, let's be honest. It's already starting to get stale.
WrestleMania 39. Y'all said the same thing whenever Cody didn't win the title.
I asked the same question. I did. And you can't tell me there weren't some times between 39 and 40 that the Cody story got stale. But they realized that it was stale and did things to fix it back up. But there were times when it got stale. I think so anyway.
I think that would be cool, Rick.
Yeah, I agree with you. Rick in the chat saying, when she wins it, I need Tiffany to get the belt redone in her signature pink tones. If that belt says Tiffy time anywhere on it.
Oh, it's going to.
No.
It is going to.
No.
Yes.
Ugh. No. But no.
It's going to. It's okay. Another thing while we're on it with merchandising. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once Tiffany Stratton cashes in, all those Money in the Banks that they're selling with her stuff on it goes away.
Fair.
They got stuff to sell. They're making money with this.
No, she has a pink belt.
Yep, it will be on the side badges.
You know, both of y'all need to stop. All right. No Tiffy time. That takes us to the last two matches, and they're the matches everybody's waiting for. We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell. The promos are cut. The words have been said. Ain't nothing left to do but lock the door. Now, I have heard more than one person say that they're going to start the show with this match.
There should only be one reason why, which we will have to get to in a minute.
Yes.
There should be only one reason why that they start with this Hell in a Cell, because it is the blood feud of WWE right now.
It is.
It is the one that needs to be. I mean, this is not a, oh, this is just a random PLE that says we're going to have a Hell in a Cell because it's called Hell in a Cell. No,
This is bad
this
blood.
is bad blood. This is Drew McIntyre, who hates CM Punk's guts, and then they're going to go in there and they're going to beat the snot out of each other, and it's going to be awesome. And we're all going to talk about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks from now on. But this is the one that has to put this thing to bed. This is the one that's, I mean, there's too much story riding on this, and there is only one reason that I can think of.
Hold that reason. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about the match first. Absolutely best storyline out there. 10 months. 10 months worth of storyline in this, and every bit of it building and building and better and better and better. And this is going to be the penultimate moment for this storyline. This is going to be the cash in. This is going to be the payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But which way is it paying off? That is the question. Who's going to win? You know, who you put Drew McIntyre and CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell. Do you know who wins? We do. That's right. We win because it's going to be amazing. I have gone back and forth on this. I can see why Punk would win this and what could happen moving forward should Punk win this. That's kind of why I threw that Ethan Page thing out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Drew winning it and where this goes if Drew does win it. I kind of, just looking at both directions, I have to go with Punk on this one. I think Punk wins the match, but we're the true winners.
I agree that we are the true winners. But however, I disagree that Punk is going to take this.
Okay.
Drew is the one I'm picking on this.
Okay.
And I'm a super CM Punk fan.
True.
I've been a super CM Punk fan since 2001. So
okay,
because reasons.
Reasons.
But I honestly think that, you know, the better story to tell out of this is Drew winning.
Drew, you get one or two stories. You get Drew got out of his own way, and just decimates CM Punk. Or you get the Drew is starting to get out of his own way, is in the process of decimating CM Punk, but CM Punk just won't die. And I say it that way intentionally because of Punk's promo. You know, I'm ready for my heart to stop beating in that ring.
And I almost can guarantee you that Drew at some point in this match is going to look at him and go, "Why won't you die?"
I hope so. And that's why I think we get to see a Punk win. I think Drew's gonna take him out, and I think that's what we get. Drew's gonna go after him, and Punk's gonna pull it off in the end. That's the win. That leads us to our last match, and we'll talk about the reason this is probably your main event in just a moment. Let's talk about the match. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns against, yeah, you heard me right, as tag team partners against the Bloodline. Of course, the Tongans are going to be at ringside, but Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu in the match. Man, I don't know about all this. Like, this is going to get wild. The rumors are all over the place. Is Jimmy coming back? Is Jay going to be there? Are we going to get Jimmy and Jay? Are we going to get Hikuleo? Or well, they're not calling him Hikuleo anymore.
Tala Tonga.
Are we going to get the debut of Tala Tonga? Is Zilla gonna show? Like, there's so many things going on out there, but there's one in particular that is a very strong possibility. And the reason you get this as the main event instead of the Hell in a Cell. And I'm gonna let you throw it out to him.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I think the quote unquote final boss makes his return, and that's why it's the main event, because The Rock's gonna show up. He's been gone for a while, and he made it very, very clear that he's got something for Cody when he gets back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he shows up, and that causes problems, and we're finally going to start moving into the Rock's what's got Solo and the Tongans. Like, he's over all of that, and we can start building the brothers back together. We can start planting all the seeds, or start growing all the seeds that have already been planted, to start building this thing up for next year. So I think that's what we get. I think that's where we're going to be at. I think the bloodline takes it because of a Rock return.
Well, regardless of Rock or no Rock, Jacob Fatu. This is Jacob. This is the first featured PLE match for
Right.
Jacob Fatu. You, with him, as much momentum and as much story as they're putting on Jacob Fatu, there is nothing. I don't see him losing.
I don't either, and I'm gonna be interested to see where it goes. I almost 100% feel like we get the return of the Rock in this match. It's the only reason, like you and I discussed, that I can see making this the main event instead of that Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. If they open the show with the Hell in a Cell, we could pretty well guarantee it. The Rock is going to be back.
I agree. So you're going with the Bloodline?
I'm going with the Bloodline.
I'm going with the Bloodline. Rick's going with the Bloodline. Everybody's going with the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. Those are our Bad Blood predictions. I cannot wait to watch this thing on Sunday because I got to work Saturday night.
Same.
Yeah. So what? No spoilers. Okay.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Don't message me and be like, "Oh, this was so." No, I'm not even gonna look at my phone.
We're gonna turn off all the chats that we're in.
Mm-hmm. Because I can't watch it until Sunday around noon. So, that's about it for tonight. We're at the 25-minute mark. You know what that means. Every time I have a guest on the show, I like to take the last 5 minutes, turn it over for final thoughts. So, Mike Caldwell, to the people watching, to the people listening, to the wrestling world in general, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. I mean, we've covered a lot, right?
Covered a lot.
So we didn't really get to talk much independent wrestling.
We didn't.
So there was this thing that happened last month.
A couple of things.
No, but we're talking about one thing in particular.
Okay.
And due to everything, me getting to watch everything and see how certain people handled situations, I believe it's time for a changing of the guard.
Okay.
I am busy with BCW.
Oh, I already know. You should try to get this man on the telephone.
Guapo,
Yes.
your audition was a success. You are now the permanent general manager of BCW, Texas.
Oh, hell. Okay. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Damn.
That's my final thought.
Oh, okay. Nice. You done thrown all my final thoughts off. Hold on now. Wow. Okay. What an honor. Thank you. I'll,
welcome.
I'll try not to let you down. Does this mean that like it's legal for me to throw Chris Watson out of the ring?
No,
Damn. What's this close?
Chris Watson's on my list.
Uh-oh.
Chris Watson. No, let me talk about Chris Watson for just a second. Chris Watson assaulted my ring announcer,
Mm-hmm.
broke my microphone,
Mm-hmm.
walked away with one of my microphones,
Yep.
and as a paying ticket customer, he did everything wrong as far as getting in that ring. He did not sign waivers. He did not do any of the other stuff. And there's hell to pay coming for Chris Watson.
Well, I'd like to help with that hell as next month, he's going to be standing alongside Big Sid in a match against my team.
Yeah.
With Brandon Green. So,
And since it's your team, I guess at that point you can legally throw him out.
it's coming, Chris. It's coming. I'm still trying to take in the whole permanent GM thing. Wow. Wow. Y'all gotta come to BCW shows. If you weren't coming already, now you gotta come see me because now I'm gonna be a GM. You gotta come check it out. You should have been coming anyway.
And I'm going to drop off the blazer.
Okay, you're gonna see. Can't be a GM without the blazer.
Nope. Can't be the GM without the
Can't
blazer.
be the GM without the blazer. So we're gonna do the blazer. I like it. Well, damn. I see you threw me off. Like I had a whole flow ready, and you threw me all the way off with this GM thing, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that you have that faith in me, and I won't let you down in it. We're gonna have a good 2025. We're gonna have a good November all the way into 2025. We're gonna make things happen.
We are.
It's gonna be great. Which brings me to my final thoughts. First and foremost, thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that watches, everybody that listens. We love you guys. You're the reason we do this. And as long as you're still here, so are we. Thank you to Mike for being my guest. It's always a pleasure having you on, especially when you throw me off with crazy news. West Texas Independent Wrestling. BCW just had a changing of the guard, apparently. BCW, Squared Circle Pro, South Plains Championship Wrestling, OSW, Top of Texas, something.
There's more of them out there.
Yeah, there are so many promotions out there. I guarantee you, wherever you're at right now, wherever you are, you can find a local promotion, whether it's West Texas Wrestling or not. If you're J-Rev all the way out in California, I guarantee you can find local wrestling. Go support independent wrestling, because I'm gonna tell you right now, all the people we've been talking about, Drew CM Punk was an independent wrestler at one point. There were people going to shows where there were 100, 200 people because he was an independent wrestler and he worked his way up. So you never know when you go to an independent show if you're looking at the next person you're going to see on Raw or SmackDown or NXT or the Clown Show, or you just don't know. So get out there, support, and be crazy. Get in the crowd, yell, scream,
lose your voice.
Yeah.
And your mind.
Lose your mind, lose your voice. Be a part of the experience. I invite every single one of you to do it. If you haven't done it, please do. If you're in the area, come to BCW. Come check us out. Loveland, Texas.
Come to Squared Circle Pro.
Come to Squared Circle Pro. Jake's Back Room, Lubbock, Texas. Any of OSW over in Midland. Top of Texas is in Amarillo. I mean, we've got them. We've got places everywhere. Please support your independent wrestling. That's going to do it for us tonight. Again, thank you to everybody that joined us live. If you're joining after the fact, thank you for doing that. We'd love to hear feedback, so check the socials. Let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what you'd like to see coming up on the show. Next week, we will have Rick Elsey on the show with us. We'll go over what happened on Bad Blood, and then we're just going to chop it up about wrestling. So if there's something you want to talk about, Attitude Era, Golden Era, right now, the Clown Show, we might talk about that. Anything you want to talk about, drop it in the socials. Let us know. Give us what you want to hear. We're gonna make it happen. Until then, I'm Guapo,
I'm Mike Caldwell.
and we're
We
not
are not
your
your
average
average
schmucks. I'll see y'all Thursday.
Yeah.